We got some scheduling highlights. This Nebraska opener against Cincinnati really intrigues me. I think it's very odd. Not that Nebraska is playing Cincinnati, but that Nebraska is playing Cincinnati in Kansas City. Nebraska and Cincinnati, I'm looking at a national map in my mind. They're playing in Kansas City. It just kind of strikes me funny. I guess the game was originally scheduled to be played in Indianapolis and something happened. So I put these little nuggets together for Nebraska's opponents here. There we see, you would think my friends would know. 4 p.m. Eastern time, you know? All right. So Cincinnati is 13-14 against the Big Ten since the year 2000. That's a much better record than I would have anticipated. That's pretty good. Nebraska also plays Akron, whom they defeated 59-14 in 1997, and they play Houston Christian. What other nuggets do we have for the Huskers here? Let's see. They have lost 8 of 12 games against Michigan. They lost the last 2. Sorry to bring this up, Nebraska fans. 79-10. Nebraska's 9-4 against Michigan State, but they lost the last 2. They're 2 out of 3 against Maryland. They did lose the last game in 2023. I remember it well. Nebraska, as they are apt to do, driving down the field for the game-winning touchdown, and they threw an interception in the end zone. And then Maryland immediately took it down the field and kicked the game-winning field goal. I am surprised by this all-time record that Minnesota leads Nebraska 37-25. Now, I know Minnesota pre-1960 was a juggernaut in the 40s, 50s, 60s, into the 60s. But man, 37-25. And Nebraska fans should hate Minnesota. They've won 5 consecutive games against GBR. What other notes do we have on Nebraska's season here? I think I did a comparison between 2025 and 24. Nebraska's only 10-7 against Northwestern. They're 7-5 against them since they joined the Big Ten. Nebraska needs to win a game against USC. They're 0-5-1 all time against USC. And of course, lost that game against the Trojans in LA last year, and they get the return visit likewise, but in reverse. They played UCLA at home and lost last year. They go out to the Rose Bowl this year. They're 10-8 against Penn State. This is impressive out of Nebraska since joining the Big Ten. One of the few nuggets that we can find on the impressive side for the Huskers since joining the Big Ten. 4-1 against Penn State. And they've lost 9 out of 10 against Iowa, most of those by a walk-off field goal. Now let's see if I can find what Minnie's looking for here. Okay. I did a poor job of spacing the typing here, but hang with me here. We are basically comparing the difference in the 2024 schedule and the 2025 schedule, and it's not much different for Nebraska. So I took out the teams that they are playing that are the same in both seasons, and that's 3 teams. So you see 6 different teams that they're playing in 2025, replacing 6 teams in 2024. So the other 3 are the same, whoever those are. Iowa, Wisconsin. I don't know. I know it's Iowa. That's a permanent. Oh, it would be USC and UCLA. Those are the 3 teams that they played in 2024 that they play this fall. And the other 6 teams are different. So the 6 teams that they're playing this year, Penn State, Michigan, Minnesota, Michigan State, Northwestern, Maryland, replace Indiana, Ohio State, Illinois, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Purdue. Those teams that are part of that 2025 mix went 24-30 in the Big Ten. They are replacing teams that went 28-26 in the Big Ten. Although I would say Purdue at 0-9 really weights down that number. So I would say I think it's pretty negligible. Although Northwestern and Maryland are much more guaranteed wins than anything that Nebraska had in the Big Ten this past year, except for Purdue. So maybe they have more. And Michigan State should be a win for Nebraska. I think they have more games in which they are a sizable favorite, more so than last year.